Is it here? Are we live?
I don't see us, but maybe let me refresh. I don't see us yet.
This is I'm so nervous.
Oh, okay. I think we're live. Are we live? I
Do we make it happen?
think we might have made it happen.
Oh, we did it so
Yay!
Mark, thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mark.
thank you, Mark. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Hi
my God.
everybody.
Hello, everyone. I know. I'm being perceived in real time.
I know.
We both did improv for literal years. This shouldn't feel weird to us.
And
And
yet it
yet,
is.
and yet it's so strange. Okay. This
We did it, everyone. We survived the reunion and we survived getting on
we
live.
we survived getting on live. It was a journey. Shout out to Jim, my fiance, and our producer, who
Mm.
is a tech hero of the ages because
Yeah.
we were wrestling with this for like half an hour, but here we are. Yeah, so thank you for being here and for watching. We are gonna get into the reunion, which was bonkers.
I mean, I
Absolutely bonkers.
like I said to Andy immediately, this could have been an email. This entire reunion could have been an email. This whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the
I mean,
and the producers knew that, which is why Chris Paul was
Paul.
there for some reason. I mean, like, not to be mean to CP3, but like, I don't even think people who are watching the NBA are excited to see him on their television. So, what made everybody
I
at Netflix
know.
think that this audience was going to be excited to see him?
Well,
I was screaming.
he had to have been like 10 down on the list, is what I think. Like, how much do we think he got paid just to show up on the reunion?
Oh my God! I mean, like, at least a million, right?
Easy million. But I mean, good lord. Should we just
uh,
get started from the top?
Yeah, let's start from the top. Well, we started right away with Jordan and Megan, which I was like, thank God, like,
Well,
thank God.
even
Oh,
before that, they were like walking in to this like
oh,
live song. I was like, what rich like parents' backyard are we in? Where they're walking down the cobblestone. I was like, I feel like there should be a hot tub off to the side. Like
yes.
they're going to take their prom pictures. It was so strange. I was so worried
Or
about all
it
the
looked
girls
like
and their
the,
ankles.
I know some of them looked like Madison, especially, like they were
Oh,
focused on getting down those stairs without breaking an ankle. It looked like the grotto that they use in
yes,
Survivor for
yes.
Survivor to vote people out. Yeah, it was very strange. And I'm sorry to Miles Smith who was playing live, but like I don't know who you are. Who was that?
I know, but you know what? Glad they got the exposure. I'm thrilled for them. I'm
That felt
sure
that felt
they'll have.
very Bachelor universe to
Oh,
me.
yeah, it's like they're trying to mash like Bravo and a Bachelor reunion, and it's overall not going over well, I would say.
No, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Yeah, that was bizarre. That was one of the many times I shouted, "What the fuck is going on?" from my couch. Um, yeah, and then we jump right into Nick and Vanessa Lachey doing, as usual, a
I
pretty mediocre job of hosting a reunion.
I know. The worst, they've no banter. They have like negative charisma together.
They do, and also like if you pay close attention, which like honestly nobody needs to be paying close
No.
attention to Nick and Vanessa Lachey, but if you pay close attention, like it's mostly Vanessa kind of like I don't know reprimanding Nick, but in
I
like a
know. We're seeing the
and
dynamic of their relationship in real time.
yeah, it's rough. But anyway, we jumped right into Megan and Jordan, which I was very grateful for because that is the subject that I think is on everyone's minds. Um And Jordan, I felt like was a real class act this entire episode. He didn't say anything negative about Sparkle Meg. I cannot believe that I mean, I know we've seen all the pictures from like the
Yeah.
Sun, the tabloid pictures of her and everything. She had a baby 2.5 months ago,
Uh-huh.
and she, thank God, spelled out the full timeline because I was, like, literally writing down, like, ready to do full, like, scheduling math.
Yeah.
I know I've got, like, the board with the strings behind me. Um, so she said that she dated this guy, this current guy that she is dating and had a baby with for 3 months when
Right.
they got pregnant, and she met him in August, and the show wrapped in May. Um, which, like, fine, whatever. But then they showed the guy, and I was like, "Oh, he's looks like Jeff Bezos." Like, insert he literally
Right.
has, like, the creepy billionaire look where he's, like, bald and, like
I know. It was very, it reminded me a lot of, I don't know if we have anyone in the chat who's watched Summer House on Bravo, but it was very Lindsay Hubbard coded, in that she was engaged to Carl Radke, and they had a huge falling out after their engagement, and then
Mm,
showed up to the reunion. No one knew she was pregnant with a new guy's baby at the time. She had like painted on abs. She was like 3 months pregnant, and similarly got pregnant like 3 months into dating this new guy and had a baby.
wow,
And they live in a
wow.
summer house together. But like, but I think it is a little bit of like, I don't know if Megan was feeling this at like at that age that she's at, like in our mid 30s,
Yeah.
like we are. It's like, well, if she was wanting to have a baby, this may not be the timeline she wanted to have it in, but it's like, if I'm pregnant, you get pregnant, like you have the baby.
Listen, we're two Sex and the City fans
Yeah,
talking. That is how Brady Hobbs
right.
came to be.
I know.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what happened. But I no, I'm not convinced that like it's truly love between Sparkle Meg and like random Dr. Evil billionaire. Um
No, but I also was shocked. I was like, Brooks. I was like, that's my middle name. I have to share my middle name with this baby, this random child. Brooks Nada is
I
one thing, but Brooks, the question mark baby.
yeah, this whole thing just I don't know, it kind of just made me feel really sad. Like I think my crush on Jordan has just gotten a little bit out of hand,
The
unfortunately.
parasocial. We're loving Jordan.
I think it's really gotten out of hand. Because I just felt really sad for him. He like looked kind of sad, and also the fact that like Megan didn't want to change her life to accommodate being married to a single father, and then like I don't know, less than 6 months later, she's preparing to have a kid with somebody, and then her
Yeah,
talking about how, like, "And I've had to be so selfless, and, like, it really changes your life, and now I have a lot more empathy for what Jordan was going through." I was like, "You guys could have done this together."
I know, and I think it's that like, unfortunately, I think the issue we've seen with like a lot of the dating scene now, it's like people think there's like always like a better option out there.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, this is like what happens as a byproduct of that. It is a bummer.
yeah.
Um, and I think she said herself, like she's regrets that she wouldn't allow herself to get to that point. But I think it is,
Mhm.
I'd rather for Jordan's sake and for her sake, if she wasn't 100%, that isn't worth going to the aisle for and
No,
and
it's
putting
not.
Luca through that either.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, overall, like it made me feel sad about what could have been. I
I
still have
know.
just a violent crush on Jordan, unfortunately.
No, and he looks
Uh,
hot. He looks very
I
hot.
know.
He was
I know.
probably the best looking of the men. I'm trying to think who was like overall best looking at the reunion. I think like Jordan was the best dressed of the men.
By like
Uh,
a
a
large
mile,
margin.
large mile. And Ally, I think was probably our best dressed female. I loved the dark brown, the honey brown.
Yeah, yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, everybody looked amazing. I didn't love a couple of the dress choices, but um yeah, definitely Jordan looking the best as far as the men. Yeah, so like overall that made me feel kind of like sad, but you know, it seems like they're on good terms or Jordan is just a class act and they're being polite. It surprised me that none of the women had any idea that
I
Sparkle Meg
know.
was pregnant because she kind of like went into hiding. Um yeah, none of them had any idea other than Casey, which I was like, "Are Casey
So
and Sparkle
random.
Meg close?" Like
I know.
I f
I immediately was like, was she in one of the cabins like in Severance? when the birthing cabins that that his sister goes to.
They
You know what I'm
probably
talking about?
just like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. They probably like ran into each other at like an Orange Theory class or something, and like
For
Sparkle Meg
sure.
was like obviously pregnant or something, and that's how they found out. Um, but yeah, so
And
oh,
then
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, then we get like this awkward transition into Casey. Like they do the most awkward like landing strip transition.
Yeah, Vanessa. I don't. The thing about Nick and Vanessa hosting is like I do think they're. Do they have like things in their ears? Are they being cued about like when to like say things and move on? Because like it just sounds very. I don't know. Everything sounds very canned, and I just like don't believe that those two people can like
I agree.
juggle that many things.
I think it's also why I think Netflix does such a bad job at these reunions in comparison to Bravo. It's like there's no room or space for anyone else to comment on the couches. The point,
Mm,
what makes a Bravo reunion so electric is that you have like all of these people in the same room and they're like fighting with each other, talking with each other, and then Andy sort of like will insert himself when he has to. And I
yeah,
think with this, it's like okay, this is the 5 minutes we have dedicated to Jordan and Megan, and now they're going to be
yeah.
sitting here for an hour and not going to say anything else the rest of the time. And
I
it's very
know.
strange. It's just very strange.
I know, and Jordan sort of embodied that well because he kept being like, "Stop like commenting on my reactions. Like I have ADHD." I just kept thinking like, if I were not the couple who was like being
Yeah.
focused on, I would need like a fidget toy because I would be so bored. Like some of like the Madison stuff, which we'll get to, like
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
did get kind of spicy between everybody. I'm glad they cleared up the type 1 versus type 2 diabetes thing. I'm glad Sparkle Meg, you know, tried to go on a date with Mike and realized there was nothing there because he sucks.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So then did we move on to Patrick and Casey after? Yeah, you
Yeah,
said with the awful landing strip joke.
we brought out Patrick, Casey, and Kate. All came out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Kate mostly to be Madison's like emotional support friend.
God bless her.
God bless her. I'd do it for you, Caroline.
I do for you too. I would show up for Vanessa and Nick, two people that
Whatever. I'd be starstruck if I met them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about it. Yeah, so we get Patrick and Casey. I mean, I don't think we learned anything new other than like, I don't think Casey has any self-awareness of like how her behavior comes off because it was a lot of
yeah.
people saying she was flirting with people or like did or didn't do things and her being like, no, that's not how that happened.
Yeah. Well, she's in the bubble. That's the thing.
She is. She's
She's
in
in
the
the
hot bubble.
she's in the hot bubble, and I think unfortunately when you're in the hot bubble, there's no sense of awareness of that and like all
Mm-mm.
love and light to that. Like I know nothing about the bubble. We don't know about the bubble. We don't know about being in the bubble. We're around the bubble.
Yeah, no. The
But
closest I would ever get to being in a bubble is like if I my whole life were different and I could like be cast as Glinda on Broadway and then I'd be in like a physical bubble.
and then we would
Way I'm
be
not getting in the bubble.
did
There's
you
no
know
way.
Did you know, side note, the bubble for Glinda on Broadway, it's like made for Kristen Chenoweth's height, so they have to like cast Glinda around that.
They won't change the physics of that.
I
They
don't
don't have
think
the
so.
Broadway doesn't have
I
the
don't know.
funds.
Kristen Chenoweth, get in the chat, but like let us know if anyone has been in Wicked in the chat and can tell us more about the bubble.
My God. Anyway, Patrick and Casey. This was hard for me to listen to because the two of them both have such like halted speech.
I
So
know.
it would be like Patrick being like, "No, I mean Casey, that like isn't what happened." Yeah, Patrick, that is what happened.
That's a pretty good Casey.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, they just talked in circles. I feel like we didn't get anywhere really. And then we got Vanessa's insane Schmiegel impression that I never want to hear again in my life.
Yeah. I mean, Casey's never beating the cool girl allegations by bringing up Lord of the Rings while talking about the engagement ring. Um, yeah, and then out of nowhere, Chris Paul, who is currently on the Clippers.
Mhm.
but has played on many, many, many NBA teams. He is toward the end of his career,
Which is why he's
and
on the Love Is Blind season 9 reunion.
his agent was putting out feelers. Do you think they told Patrick and Casey that they were gonna have to do
No.
like play a game of horse with Chris Paul?
No, that they by the looks on both of their faces, I think that was a shock to everyone that Chris Paul was there.
And the fact that they planted him in the audience, like this is like an episode, like the monologue of SNL or something. And like, oh my god, it was just I was sitting on the couch going, what? What? I couldn't believe it. Kudos to Casey for being that good at basketball
Uh,
while wearing that outfit.
I know, probably like sucked into the gods, like wearing her Skims underneath that
Yeah,
dress. Like, you know what? Good for her. I don't know. That was the most I felt like we were in a simulation was when that was happening. I was like, I think we've lost the plot here. I don't know
I
how does
know.
the reunion come back? Like that feels like something you do when there's like 10 minutes left in the reunion and not when we have like the majority of the couples we need to actually speak with.
We are only on like the second batch of couples, and we haven't even gotten to some of the like main drama, and we're already doing like, I don't know. It felt like they knew that this
There was
reunion
a
could have
dud.
been an email, as you said. But I also think it's partially their fault because Netflix has let so much stuff, I don't know, just be exposed prior to the
Totally.
reunion. Like the
Well,
cast members have been doing interviews where they don't explicitly say stuff, but like it's pretty obvious.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we like get into some of that, what did you think about their thoughts of like should Netflix get the ring back? Like I don't think Patrick should. I think it should have just gone back to Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, it
He didn't
wasn't
pay for
paid.
it.
No, and like any argument that it would have like sentimental value to any of them like seems like absolute bullshit to me. Like
Mhm.
Casey keeping, I don't know why Casey would want to keep it.
No. No.
Yeah, it felt weird, and also like I love Patrick, I really genuinely do, but the fact that he like felt the need to get it back for like some sort of like closure just felt performative and
Yeah,
weird. I also was like, dude, if you have to ask this woman
I
point
know.
blank this many times to apologize to you, like maybe just accept that you're not going to get an apology. Like I'm not saying it's right, but
Right.
like it was uncomfortable.
It's a losing battle. I was also glad they brought up the deleted TikTok
Yes.
that
Yes.
because I think he also doesn't understand why that would also come across as not great either.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Casey, like she is a villain. Like she's in the
Yeah,
bubble. She's insanely hot. Everyone in the cast clearly wanted to like have a chance to date her. She, you know, played with people's hearts, especially Patrick's. She was not
yeah,
clear about why she rejected him. A lot of her side of the story like seems like absolute bullshit like after they got back to Denver. Um and the thing is though, but like Patrick, you're not going to keep the high ground if you do shit like post catty petty TikToks. Like
right.
that's the thing. It's like the people on
It,
the show like want it to be like I'm the good guy, I'm the villain, and it's like you're all fucking around.
you're
You're all
all
fucking around on
yeah,
TikTok.
you're all trying to get on Perfect Couple after Love Is Blind.
Perfect match. Yeah, yeah,
Perfect,
yeah.
perfect match.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to be on that show after Love Is Blind. Like we know the
Yes.
game
Yes. Also like Denver feels like it's like kind of a small town ass
for sure.
city. And it seems like this group of people actually hangs out together quite a bit. So the vibe that I just got as we were starting to talk with Patrick and Casey and then Joe got brought into it is I was like, this is like a toxic group of like high school or college friends that
Yeah,
like you guys need to stop hanging out with each other because like you're all hooking up with each other. You're like I appreciate the fact that you all got close through this like the trauma bond of this insane experience, but like you guys probably need to spend less time together because the girls were
yeah.
like, yeah, we were all over at Casey's, and then they all like were talking about how much they hate Casey. I was like, why are you guys hanging out?
Like no good can come from this, everybody. Like no good, even which we're about to get into, Joe's new girlfriend is like Kate's best friend. Like so it's all like they're all connected.
I know, like don't do this to Kate. Like have her. I mean, Joe and his current girlfriend will breakup at some point. Yeah, let's pivot and talk about Joe. Joe has an infuriating amount of charisma, and it makes me angry because I do not like him, but I
I
cannot
know.
deny that he is watchable television.
Watchable television with that mustache, I wanted to rip it off his stupid face. And did you see he was also wearing cowboy boots?
I know. Yes, I did. And you watched The Good Place? Did you not?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the episode where like Chidi has the red cowboy boots because his friend he couldn't bear to tell his friend that he didn't like his red cowboy
Oh,
boots?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the whole time. I was like, that's what he looks like. He looks like he's wearing Chidi's ugly red cowboy boots.
Yeah, Joe, it was fascinating to watch him, the energy that he had with Madison, that he could not muster an apology for his life with
No.
her. Like, he could not have a real conversation. And that, I can only imagine what that's like to be one on one with that energy is so infuriating.
I would have physically harmed him, I
For
think.
sure.
Yeah, that would have
Absolutely.
been a cell block tango situation for sure. I appreciated that Madison did speak her piece, especially about the comments that he made, both to her and also in his talking head about her body, or rather, I guess you could say he wasn't actually
Yeah.
talking about her body because he was just talking about typically people I've dated before, but like it was clearly fucked up. So I appreciated that she got to say her piece. Yeah, the two of them are just like very, 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 very toxic. And I just like I didn't appreciate that Joe was like, yeah, I mean, you heard me, we're either fighting or fucking. And it's like she's clearly still very hurt. Like, can you like end the Rodney Dangerfield stand-up routine for
Right,
like
like,
2 seconds?
and acknowledge the fact that, like, you waited until she tried on wedding dresses to break up with her. Like, you could have been like, I don't wanna give Nick an inch. Again, I don't wanna give Nick an inch in his life, but Nick at least did it before Annie tried on wedding dresses, and
Yes.
Joe knew this was coming. Like, he saw it from a mile
Yes.
away, so I don't know what
And the
kept
fact
him.
that when Madison was like, hey, how come we all hung out hours after
Yeah.
that and nobody told me anything, and I was talking to your friends about how excited I was at my dress fitting and no one said anything, and Joe was like, well, I was out with friends and I was trying not to focus on it because I knew we were going to talk about it later. Dude, you walked out of that tux thing at like what, 3 in the afternoon? What are
And
you
s
talking
and
about?
seemed to get in your trunk and, like, sprint to, like, Utah. Like, it looked like
Yeah.
you just drove off and left Colorado.
Yeah, you hopped in a Ford F-150 outside the tux place. What are you talking about? Yeah, flimsy, flimsy excuses. I mean, his the real love of his life is Jordan. The two of them are clearly very close friends, and I hate that for Jordan because apparently I know what's best for Jordan because I love him and I need to go to therapy.
Well, I'll say also it was interesting hearing like Madison get mad at Casey about Joe when
Mhm.
I was like, I understand. Casey is like infuriating, but it felt
He
like
is.
Joe was like getting away with it in that point a little bit too. I was like, okay, now we're like getting mad at Casey and we've lost the plot a little bit when it's like Joe is the problem. Joe is the problem in this conversation. I understand. I would not like it if she came up to me and said we were Eskimo sisters. I would not like that either.
No.
But I do think it's easy to get lost in the sauce about that a little bit,
It
and you need to,
is. It
yeah.
is. It is. It's something I think a lot of I speaking as a woman, I struggle with this as well. I remember struggling with this as like a teenager of like trying not to be mad at like the hot girl all the guys were interested. It's like be
I
mad at the
know.
guys. Like they're the
Yeah.
fucking dogs. Um yeah, I heavily recommend to the women of Denver, Colorado to issue a Alyssa Strata on Joe Ferrucci.
I
Do not have
know.
sex with him. Do
I
not have sex
know.
with him until he learns how to be a better person. We are doing Lysistrata. No sex with Joe.
Just because he can tell a joke. And we are experts in this as
We
two.
both studied at the Harvard of comedy.
Yeah, we studied the Harvard of comedy. We
Okay.
put in the legwork. We know what it's like to be around these funny guys. And we're just gonna tell you, you gotta do some more digging. Just because they're funny isn't enough.
No, and I will argue that he's not that funny.
No, he's not.
Not that funny.
It must be the
Any
altitude.
yes, you guys will have altitude sickness. You need to have that looked at. Like, stop having sex with that man. Um, yeah. So, anything else about Patrick, Casey, Madison, Joe? I mean, I don't
Oh
think we
my
learned
god.
anything new about Madison and
No.
Joe, really. Um, from there, where did we go?
We went to Kate and Nick and
Oh
Annie.
my God, this was also really, really hard to watch and pissed me off because I feel like all of the questions that all of us had about
I know.
Nick and Annie went completely unanswered.
Yeah.
Not that I expected Nick to, like, I don't know, have an epiphany about maybe some personal things he wanted to explore and share with all of us.
I know.
I wasn't expecting that, obviously, but he once again felt very rehearsed.
He's a
Um,
robot.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. And like Kate, the whole time he was apologizing to her again, like Kate kept kind of awkwardly like nodding and looking away. And like I would be doing the same thing. I'd be
Oh,
like, can you just
keep
you
going.
just can we change the playback speed on you because I really can't stand to
Oh,
listen to
well,
you.
because like Kate's like, I fully moved on from this. Like Kate's like, this is fully in my rear view mirror. Why am I having to revisit this? I've not thought about Nick like in forever, but I do have a theory now. Okay, we think Paul is this evil billionaire. What if Nick is one of his robots? Like, what if he has like a company of robot and then he's controlling him from the audience?
Okay. I mean, it's possible. That would indicate that Paul was involved. Paul, you're talking about Paul is Sparkle Meg's
Yeah,
baby daddy, correct?
correct.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's been involved with production long before coming into Sparkle Meg's life. He was behind the scenes creating humanoid AI chatbots, and one of them is
Yeah.
Nick the watch guy. Um, yeah. Annie also refused to say anything all that bad about Nick, which I was kind of shocked about. I mean,
Right.
she looked glassy-eyed as fuck. So like she was probably drunk and wanted to go home and go to sleep.
I know. I'm glad we did find out it was Haley that she was texting, her best friend.
Yes,
That
her friend, which
we
makes
got
sense.
yeah. I know. It just was interesting. Also, I hate that they didn't follow up about their LGBTQ conversation at all.
I also did not like that they didn't address that because this show actually, like, one of the positive things I will say about this show is
Yeah.
that it does tend to get into some of this stuff. Like, in the previous season, like the Minneapolis season, like it focused pretty heavily on the fact that like the women were not willing to say yes to the was it Minneapolis? Yes. The women were
Yeah.
not willing to say yes to the men because they had like shitty conservative values.
Yeah.
And the show got their shit together to like edit that and air the thing
Yeah.
about Annie and Nick. So I found it weird that Vanessa seems to love stirring the pot. So I was surprised that that didn't come up. I mean, it's possible that producers like saw that Annie was looking a little glassy eyed and they were like, this is gonna go well.
Well, but I mean, I felt like because they brought up the type 1 and type 2 diabetes conversation, so it just feels like strange that they would not follow through with that because that was like a big deal, and I still
Yeah,
kind of can't believe that was something we watched people say on television.
I know. It's still shocking to think about. Yeah, that was weird that they did not address that. Yeah, Annie seemed to go the route when she was questioned about everything that went down, seemed to go the route of like, I don't know, this experiment's crazy. It makes you do crazy things. And I think I just like wanted to like ride it out to the end and like try hard and like do the
Yeah.
crazy thing and like get that. But I don't know, I was disappointed. I was expecting Nick and Annie to have more to say about everything that went down between the two of them because it was so confusing to watch.
I know, and maybe she was like, I was already so confusing, I'm gonna say the least amount possible, which I also thought was like, I don't know how you felt about this when they asked her about like Brendan, and she was like, I wasn't going to choose him, and then that was it. I was like, okay,
Say
that was very
more.
abrupt. Say more.
Say
I need to know
more.
more.
Why? I did see that Brendan went on Joe's stupid
Oh
podcast.
God.
And did say that, like, in retrospect, having like watched the show, like he doesn't feel he has no regrets about the fact that like he and Annie like didn't make it. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure that's true because she nut nut.
Yeah, like you probably got out for the best, but I just yeah, I don't know. I'm just still confused as to why she was so against Brendan, and we'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to bet, based on everything we saw at this reunion, that it's like I said, they all just spend too much time together, like drunk at
Yeah.
each other's apartments or at bars in Denver. And she probably had some conversation with him that didn't go well. I don't know. Who knows? These people are like toxic and in each other's business and like need to find other
I
friends,
know.
clearly.
I agree. Like they're saying in the comments, it's like this show. It was just the entire reunion felt very fake. It's like it's just,
Yeah.
especially like again Netflix. We need to be seeing these people hang out in real life. If they are hanging out as much as it, like, why aren't we seeing this as viewers?
Yes, yes, yes. And the other thing too is, again, because Netflix took a year and a half to put this out,
Yes.
a lot of the drama that we're talking about, like post filming, happened a year and a half ago. And so I think a lot of these people have probably done whatever they needed to do to like move on from this. And now it's being dredged up again. And I don't know, personally, if you're dredging up something that I was upset about a year and a half ago, I'll be like, no, don't feel like feeling that way again.
Be like, sorry, I moved past that in therapy, and
Yeah.
we've moved on.
Yeah, I cried about it a lot, and now I want to pretend like it never happened.
I know.
So yeah, I think that's part of that. So yeah, Nick and Annie, not a whole lot there.
No, I also rolled my eyes when they like asked Kate like if she was she's like single as a Pringle, and then was it Nick or Vanessa that was like, Pringles come in a can. There's not just one Pringle. I was like, I hate this so much. Like these are not. They don't have a single. They don't have a funny bone in their body.
This is why I think they must have people in their ear and like have canned responses to things because the, at the very few opportunities they have to improvise, they really fail so badly.
So
Pringles?
badly.
What do you mean? Pringles aren't single. Like we're
Oh
wasting
God.
airtime. Yeah, so not a whole lot with Nick and Annie. And then did we
No.
move on to
Alec
Anton and
and
Ally from
Allie.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
feel like we also didn't learn a whole lot
no.
here.
Yeah.
Um, but Anton's friend Joe did not stay with that woman, I guess, who tried to warn
Interesting.
Allie. Yeah, interesting. I still don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about like I want to just like we've said this before. Girls in the bathroom is a sacred space. So
Sacred
like
space. Girls,
I
yeah.
I'm inclined to believe uh Anton's friend Joe's ex-girlfriend.
Because why would she make that up? I just don't know. Like also because she said it, it wasn't like she said it like on camera, on camera. Like she probably said it to her in the bathroom because she thought it was a safe place because they weren't being followed.
Yes. Yeah, they still had mics on, but they were in the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point because Anton was like, yeah, she wanted her 15 minutes of fame. I was like, I'm pretty sure she thought that she wasn't. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really good point. She probably was like, well, I'm peeing. They're not going to like have my mic
Yeah.
on while I'm peeing.
I know. It's
You pervs at Netflix.
oh, well, I did. It's funny. I was listening to, I think Rachel Lindsay was talking about this. There's like bachelor rules that apparently, so one person goes to the bathroom, they can't like cameras won't go in there. But the minute that there's like two people in a bathroom, they cameras go and follow you and film.
Really?
So it's like these like sort of like rules of like, so maybe it's like because there were two of them, then it was like cameras now are recording Allie and Joe's girlfriend.
I'm just like now in my head picturing like I don't know, some woman on The Bachelor being like going into the bathroom and like putting a hand up, being like, "I have to poop. Do not come in here with me."
This will save the confrontation for after the rose ceremony.
I have to poop. Yeah. So Allie and Anton. I mean, Allie basically said that like Anton was just kind of. I think she just thought he was kind of boring. And I
which is
think that was what that
fair.
weird clip that they put at the end of the two of them just awkwardly sitting together.
Which I was like, why did they show that I don't that was so strange.
It was bizarre. It was really, really bizarre. But yeah, I think the thing we didn't really know when the wedding episodes were airing is I think Allie just kind of thought Anton was boring because I think
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, and I think she's just very blunt. She's just like, "Yeah, he was boring."
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we learned much else. Anton now has a girlfriend who was in the audience, so
Good for
I'm
her.
happy. I'm happy for him. There were rumors going around that Madison and Anton were
Oh,
dating. Did you
yeah.
see any of that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that because she's like, "Oh, yeah, he's actually, like, great for the girl like, he's great with the girls or whatever," which I thought was
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, so strange. They also got into Daria in the conversation about
Oh
him being
yes.
a truck
Yes.
driver, which I think was maybe the only other big thing they covered, and I appreciated Allie's response. She's like, "I'm just trying to say, like, I in our culture, you want your man to be a provider, but it also wasn't saying that I wasn't going to have my own job and situation."
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I just feel like let my girl have some you know what? And if that was her easy way of saying he was boring, then fine.
Yeah, then fine cuz he does seem kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the thing is, I didn't think they talked about anything of substance in the pods either. I remember being bored with the two of them in the pods.
And they
So
got engaged in 30 minutes.
they sure did.
So,
Um, so I don't really know what was going on. I mean, the pods make people crazy. They're drunk the whole time. Like
yeah.
that it is what it is. So yeah, not much else gleaned about the two of them, but they seem to be on like good terms and
Yeah.
whatever. And then we went to KB and Edmond, and this was
Is a roller coaster.
as hard to watch as the whole season with them
Yeah.
was. KB made a really good point that like she couldn't see Edmund in the pods, which seems
Yeah.
obvious, but when you're watching it, like the thing is like he does get very, very I don't know. You can see his emotion expressed physically in a way that can be very overwhelming, but if you're not seeing it, you don't know. She didn't see him kissing the floor or like
Oh, yeah.
bopping down, like jumping
They
up and down in the
they also
hallway.
mentioned before they didn't even bring up the alcoholism with
Oh
Anton.
yeah, that is a really good point. They didn't at all. They didn't bring
Which
up anything about that.
Yeah, no, because they were like, "We're just moving on, through all this." It's just crazy that we didn't hear about that either. I don't know, these big, huge issues that we're just moving past.
Yeah, it's like Netflix, you chose to focus on them in the show. You have to know you literally left questions open and like
Right.
wouldn't it be a good idea to address them in the reunion?
One would think there was an entirely missing tequila bottle on top
Yes.
of, like, 2 cases of beer.
Yes. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe Anton requested that they not talk about it. I have no idea. But uh
We'll
Andy
never know.
Cohen wouldn't do this to
Andy Cohen would
us.
not leave any of that on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring that up. Yes, so KB and Edmund, KB made the point that like I didn't see like just how how much
Yeah.
energy Edmund had. Um it was hard to watch. How did you feel about this?
I felt the same. It was interesting. It just felt like he was conveniently forgetting a lot of things that he did. And gaslighting KB in real time. I appreciated Madison. She kept putting her hand on KB's shoulder throughout this entire interaction
Mhm.
because you could just tell this was, I mean, it was hard for us to watch. I can't imagine as KB, like in full glam, having to like rehash this whole thing that was probably not an easy thing to get over and like deal with, obviously, what sounds like manipulative behavior off camera that we weren't privy to. And
Yes.
there's, like, no worse feeling than that when you're having to feel like you have to double justify what happened to you to, like, remember that it did actually happen, but there's no proof of that. And that is, like, the worst feeling as, like, anyone can feel when you're, like, it's stuck, like, against the wall and,
Yeah.
everyone's saying that, like, this didn't happen.
Yeah, and like a lot Edmund is the only one who can confirm a lot of this stuff, like, if cameras
Yeah.
weren't there. It was really upsetting when KB was like, it was it made me emotional watching the pods because by the time this came out, like I had really forgotten any of the good stuff. She was like, I only remembered the bad stuff at that point. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
it
a
was in
bummer.
yeah, this is the one like really wise thing that Vanessa did say. She was trying to make the point to Edmund because Edmund just seemed he seemed really kind of confused and flustered and like didn't have a good
Yeah,
grasp on like his words, but she made the really astute point that like KB is telling you these things happen and they upset her. You're saying you don't remember. You might not remember because you've had a traumatic past,
right.
and your brain might be doing a thing where like you had a gut reaction to something and you reacted in a way that like your brain is just kind of erased because it triggered something in you. I'm not putting this I'm not putting this as eloquently as Vanessa Lachey
No,
did.
and she is the wordsmith of our country.
But poet laureate,
Yeah,
really. But yeah, I thought that was a good point because I think a lot of the disconnect between KB and Edmund is like KB said, she would confront him about something, and
yeah,
his immediate reaction would be to start crying and basically like pleading with her and using like "I love you," and
yeah.
she thought that was manipulative, and he didn't think it was manipulative, and he was like, "Well, I wasn't trying to be manipulative, buddy."
No one's trying to be manipulative. Like you just,
No,
it's just like a part of like what your behavior is. I mean, this is where I think we had a missed opportunity of Nick and Vanessa to ask everyone who has been to therapy since filming.
I know,
Like,
seriously.
raise your hand if you have been to therapy since filming, and I bet it would be like probably Megan, Sparkle Megan.
Yes.
And part of me did actually wonder if Nick had gone to therapy in some of his response. Oh, we didn't talk about how Joe was like more empathetic to his apology to Nick than he was to Madison.
Drove me so crazy. Madison was like literally sat there and was like, I can't get a full sentence from you.
I
Like,
know.
I can't get like a good closure or apology or clarity from you. And then soon as they were like, hey, you were kind of mean to Nick in the talking head, Joe
Yeah.
was like, I just want to say for the record, that was really shitty of me,
It
buddy.
was
I'm
so
really sorry.
bad. Sorry,
It's like,
guy.
this I hate him. I hate him so much. I
I
really hate
know.
him. I really,
I
really hate him. It
know.
makes me so angry.
I
Like
know.
if
I
he
know.
goes on, he is gonna end up being on Perfect Match and it's gonna
I
piss me
know.
off. This man is gonna like
Or
what?
House of Villains.
Oh. Either way,
Yeah.
this mediocre man has now
I
set
know.
himself up to have a consistent paycheck from Netflix. And I
It's
just makes
infuriating.
me really angry.
And you know what?
Um,
It's happened to mediocre white men before, and
I
it will
know.
continue to mediocre white men afterwards. It's
Till the end of time. Till the end of time. Um, but yeah, KV and Edmund. Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that they literally just do not understand each other because it
No,
is manipulative what he's doing, but to him, he doesn't see it as manipulative because it's probably the behavior he's been exhibiting since he was a kid, you
for
know,
sure. Yeah.
because he had such a lack of stability growing up. Probably his response when confronted about stuff was to just, start crying. I mean, the thing is, like, a more toxic previous version of me used to do this a lot. Like
Yeah.
Jim would come to me with like something. He's like, "Hey, we need to talk about this. Like, I don't appreciate it when you do this." And like, I didn't mean to, but I would often just start crying.
And I mean, I think that's a valid thing, but I think it triggers obviously something in KB that requires her to be a guardian figure, a mother figure. It's just like they bring out the worst in each other, and I think
They
that's
do.
bad. It's terrible, and I hate that for
Yes.
both of them.
And I going off that, I appreciated that KB said, like, please stop putting me in the headspace that every time the cameras are here, I am going to be angry because
Yeah,
I do not want to lean into this negative stereotype. I really, really appreciated that.
I
And you
know.
could feel that watching the show because she kept saying, like, you keep taking me out of my character, like in these
Yeah,
moments.
and that's what's just, like, was so frustrating to feel like as she is the only woman of color, like, in that cast, and, like, I just can
Yeah.
imagine already, like, you feel a certain way, like, being in Denver where I can't imagine there are a lot of Black people to begin with,
Probably
and then
not,
to
no.
feel like already you're, like, a minority, like, within this, like, strange thing, and it's I'm sure activates, like, all your worst insecurities of, like, how people are gonna portray you and how you're having to act on the show, and that's just frustrating, like, I think for her, and, like, in Edmund, I just, like, hope I want him to take the time to heal what obviously, like, we've seen on the show, like, there's so much of, like, what's happened in his childhood is so close to the surface, and that
Yeah.
he really needs to work. Otherwise, like, there is no way he's gonna be able to grow or move forward if he doesn't work with any of that trauma.
Yeah, for sure. And he really seemed to have a lot of trouble, like, still, like, a year and a half out, kind of grasping, like, what happened, because in his mind, he was like, "Well, I loved her, and I, like, gave her nothing but love," and it's like,
That's
there's just a lot of growth. There's a lot of growing that
yeah,
he has to do. God, when he was like, "I never would find somebody like you, like a woman like you outside of this show," like, that hurt my heart a little bit.
I
Like,
know. There's
ugh,
there's definitely another quirky woman out there for Edmund. I just really I want him, to realize he has to do a little bit more soul searching, I think, before that can
yes.
happen.
Yes, because we do not advocate for your significant other being your therapist, and it
No,
happens to women
all the
every
time.
day, all the time.
Every day,
Every hour of every day.
my lord,
Yeah.
not enough, and none of them are getting a copay.
Ugh,
Uh,
I know. Seriously, like, please, Cigna, help me out. So where are we now, reunion wise? Have we
uh,
gone through all of the
I think
couples?
that's all the couples, and then it was Jordan's birthday and the Ninja Creamy sponsorship.
Blake carrying out the ceremonial ninja creamy. That was the weirdest. Was so weird. And then they kept getting shots of people, like, using the ninja creamy.
And because they kept joking it was the chicken, protein smoothie. I was like, "Well, what is in the
Yeah.
Ninja Creamy?
Yeah,
Why is it
what did
yellow?"
we put in there? Apparently it was protein ice creams. They probably, honestly, they probably just emptied some Halo Top containers
And that's
and blended them up, because this all happened,
oh
like,
my god.
backstage of, like, a sound stage, or the grotto that they were
Yeah,
in.
I know.
I'm sure they just dumped a bunch of Halo Top in there and just spun it
Called it a
around a few
day.
times.
That PA was like I went to the back of some, like, Kroger and found the last remaining Halo Top ice cream pints from 2014. Oh
Yeah,
god, if I was eating those, because I thought, like, at that time, I was like, "Yeah, Halo, this will
listen,
fix my
we've
life."
yes, we've all been there. We've all been there when, when diet culture was like, "You know what? What if we said it was good to eat a whole pint of ice cream because it's disgusting?" um, yeah. So the Ninja Creamy came out. That was just so bizarre that they were like, "Hey, Blake, you probably don't want to talk at the reunion because you seem
I
like
know.
well, I don't know, a mentally
Adjusted.
stable person. You seem like a well-adjusted person. Do you want to be the ring bearer for the Ninja Creamy?"
We couldn't get Chris Paul to bring out the Ninja Creamy?
No,
He was right there.
he demanded too much money, or he wanted to shoot the ninja. He wanted to shoot
Yeah.
a free throw with the Ninja Creamy, and they were like, "That would break it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ay, ay, ay.
this whole reunion was an ad for the Ninja Creamy and Chris Paul.
And
two
good for
two
good for
things that
them.
people, I think, are tired of hearing about.
You know what? And good for both of them. I'm glad they got the exposure.
Yes.
I'm glad I learned more about Chris Paul and the Ninja Creamy than any of the couples at this reunion. So that
Uh,
was
oh my God, it's so true. And Miles Smith also had his
a
moment
Miles
in
Smith.
the sun to sing his song. So good, good for the three
God,
of them. The Ninja Creamy, Chris Paul, and Miles Smith. You all had an evening for the ages.
I know. But I'm just so glad we can all now expel these Denver demons from us and
I
we're
know.
done. The
Feels
chapter is to a
good.
close. We can rinse all of Love is Blind Denver from our systems. I don't have to think about Casey and Patrick having verbal sex in the pods ever again.
Also, was not discussed at the reunion? What?
I didn't need to discuss that. We didn't need to discuss. That was like we all wanted to forget that.
I think I wanted, you know what? I think I wanted to stand up and beg and ask for an apology from the two of
That's
them. That's what I wanted.
our
I
class action
wanted an
settlement.
yes. I am entitled compensation for having to sit through that. But yes, we are so excited to be done with this season. Thank God. Caroline, do you want to tell everybody what we're gonna be recapping next?
Yes. All right, everybody. We are going back to a scripted show, something that I think hopefully you're going to be just as excited about as we are. We are going to be recapping All's Fair, the brand new show on Hulu, the new Ryan Murphy production from the ever expanding Ryan Murphy universe, starring one Kim Kardashian, Glenn Close, Tiana Taylor, Niecy Nash, Sarah Paulson, and guest stars like Jessica Simpson, Judith Light, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Grace Gummer, Meryl Streep's daughter.
Yeah.
If you haven't looked at if the press has not overwhelmed your feed like it has mine, I'm shocked because it feels like the women of All's Fair are everywhere right now.
Yes.
I'm excited to see these ladies be this all female law firm dealing with divorces. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun and silly, like very campy, like and just like that. So I hope you'll be there to join us. I think it's gonna be
Yes,
fun.
please. Please join us. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. I'm excited to see Kim Kardashian act, honestly, just cuz I'm just curious. I'm really curious, and it is an embarrassment of riches of some of the most incredible women in Hollywood. So,
And to know that Kim is number one on the call sheet over Glenn Close is like a very wild thought to have, but
honestly, isn't it sort of indicative though of Glenn Close's career? That poor woman still hasn't
oh,
won an Oscar.
I know if she didn't get it for Albert Nobbs.
She's
Do
not
you
going to
remember
get it.
her little hat? I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna be covering All's Fair. The first 3 episodes premiere next week. We'll be doing a trailer recap later this week, and then it'll be week to week after that. So we hope you'll be along for the ride with us. We are so grateful we made it through season together, everybody. We did it at the end of the
We did.
road. We can
Thank
now,
you all.
yeah, get out of that altitude sickness.
Nobody have sex with Joe Ferrucci.
Joel,
I'm so
that's
serious.